Everyone, especially to our dearest instructor, Sir Christian. Good day, sir. We are the Group 5.
Throughout history, women and children have faced limitations in their fundamental rights. Our report highlights the Philippine commitment to women's rights and empowerment. It details legal frameworks, government, agencies, and development plans that aim to achieve gender equality across various sectors, and additional is about children's rights. The first part details the Philippine laws and policies promoting women's rights and participation in their various spheres. The second part dives into the Convention of Rights or the Rights of the Child or CRC, highlighting its rules and safeguarding children's well-being and fundamental rights. Both sections emphasize the importance of creating a society where individuals, particularly those who are vulnerable, like women and children, are afforded opportunities and protection to reach their full potentials.
Policies and programs for Philippine women. But before that, we have a learning outcomes that we need to achieve in the end of this chapter. First, name the Philippine laws that protect and empower women. Second, explain the importance of policies that protect and empower women. And the third one, state the aims of these policies for women and for the society as a whole. My assigned topic is all about human rights approach and international treaties for women's protection. First, let's have human rights approach. What is human rights approach? When we say human rights approach, is about empowering people to know and claim their rights and increasing the ability and accountability of individuals and institutions who are responsible for respecting, protecting, and fulfilling rights. This is an effective instrument for enforcing the protection and promotion in terms of human rights. So, there are laws have been passed responding to these demands for protections of women rights. We have the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1948, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or we called CEDAW of 1979, the Beijing Platform for Actions, or we called BPFA of 1984, the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs of 2000, and the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs of 2015. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is a common standard of achievement for all peoples in all nations. These rights are fundamental women entitlements of person. First, because his or her existence as a person has intrinsic value, and second, because a certain entitlements are necessary for one to realize his or her humanity. Without these rights, entitlements on individuals, women growth is almost impossible. Therefore, in the rights-based approach, human rights must be protected and promoted. These rights are fundamental women entitlements of a person. First, because his or her existence as a person has intrinsic value, and second, because a certain entitlements are necessary for one to realize his or her humanity. Without these rights, entitlements on individuals, human growth is almost impossible. Therefore, in the rights-based approach, human rights must be protected and promoted. Example, o halimbawa, pagbibigay ng proteksyon at suporta sa mga kababaihang biktima ng karahasan sa tahanan. Dahil sa halimbawang ito, napatunayan na ang bawat babae ay may karapatan sa buhay na malaya sa anumang uri ng karahasan, which is, they have a law na kanilang pinaghahawakan, gaya ng Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW. Ang pagsunod sa ganitong human rights o karapatang pangtao ay nakakatulong sa pagbibigay ng mas ligtas na kapaligiran para sa mga kababaihan at nagbibigay daan para mas maraming biktima na lumalapit at humihingi ng tulong kapag ganitong law ang pinapatupad. Next will be the International Treaties for Women's Protection, which is this women's protection is all about formal agreements between countries aimed at ensuring the rights, the safety, and equality of women. So these treaties establish legal standards and frameworks to prevent discrimination, violence, and exploitation of women, and to promote their empowerment and participation in all areas of society. A specific example of this protection, which is the International Treaty for Women's Protection, is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW, which is adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 1979. CEDAW is often described as an international bill of rights for women. Why? Because it defines what constitutes discrimination against women and set up an agenda for national action to end such discrimination. Countries that ratify CEDAW are legally bound to put its provisions into practice and to submit national reports at least every 4 years on measures they have taken to comply with their treaty obligations. So that is all about human approach and international treaties for women's protection. Now, let's go to another topic.
Magna Carta of Women, or the MCW, establishes the Philippine government's pledge of commitment to the CEDAW. So, Beijing Platform for Action. The Beijing Platform for Action, or the BPFA, emphasizes that women share common concerns that can be addressed only by working together and in partnership with men towards the common goal of gender equality around the world. The BPFA is a landmark act that recognizes the subordinate position of women in the globe and aims to promote and protect their full rights while diagnosing problems related to women's issues. So the Beijing Platform for Action stresses that gender equality is a shared goal requiring collaboration between women and men. So, it means na dili lang siya para sa babae but also for the men. It emphasizes the importance of working together, addresses common concerns, and achieve equality worldwide. So, this means that addressing issues related to gender equality and women's empowerment requires the involvement and support of both genders. So, it is really important na naa ang support for the both genders para sa for women and men. So, the next one is the feminization of poverty. When we say poverty, it is also means sa sabot ana is poor, pinaka poor. So the phenomenon in which majority of the world's poor are women. So it means na or ito ay tumutukoy sa patakaran na kung saan na ang karamihan sa mga mahihirap sa mundo ay ang mga kababaihan. So basically means na mas poor ang mga babae kaysa mga lalaki because sa una is mas more or mas daghang more advantage ang mga lalaki kaysa mga babae kaysa compare karon na balance na sila. And there are to ensure gender equality, the BPFA formulated the 12 critical areas of concern that need urgent action. So there are 12 critical areas of concern that need to urgent action. So the first one is the persistent of and increasing burden of poverty in women. Second is inequalities and inadequacies in unequal access in education and trainings. The third one is inequalities and inadequacies in unequal access to healthcare and related services. The fourth one is the violence against women. The fifth one is the effects of armed or other kinds of conflict on women, including those living under foreign occupation. The sixth one is the inequality in economic structures and policies in all forms of productive activities and access to resources. The seventh one is inequality between men and women in the sharing of powers and decision making at all levels. The number 8 is insufficient mechanism at all levels to promote the advancement of women. The number 9 is lack of respect for and inadequate promotion and protection of the human rights of women. Number 10 is stereotyping of women and inequality in women's access to participation in all communication systems, especially in the media, and number 11 is gender inequalities in the management of natural resources and in the safeguarding of the environment. And lastly, number 12 is the persistent discrimination against women, violation of the rights of a girl child. So, the Beijing Platform for or the BPFA identifies 12 critical areas of concern that underscores the urgent need to address gender inequality worldwide. So these areas encapsulate the multifaceted challenges women face and the systematic barriers that hinder their full participation and empowerment in the society. So, in a particular, we've discussed the 12 critical areas of concern identified the BPFA, which highlight the key challenges and issues affecting women and affecting women globally, such as poverty, education, healthcare, violence, and discrimination. So these areas underscore the urgent need for action to address gender inequality and promote women's rights and well-being.
Millennium Development Goals o tinatawag nating MDGs. Kapag sinasabi natin Millennium Development Goals, ano nga ba ito? Ano nga ba ang kanilang layunin para sa mga kababaihang Pilipino? So, ang Millennium Development Goals, ito ay isang serye ng 8 layunin na itinatag ng United Nations noong 2000 na may layuning makamit ang mga ito pagsapit ng 2015. Ang mga layuning ito ay naglalayo na mapabuti ang kalagayan ng buhay sa buong mundo, lalo na sa mga mahihirap na bansa at lalong-lalo na sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Sa kabuuan, ang Millennium Development Goals ay isang makabuluhang hakbang patungo sa pandaigdigang kaunlaran, bagamat may mga hamon at pagkukulang na kinakailangang tugunan. Ang karanasan mula sa Millennium Development Goals ay naging pundasyon para sa pagsulong sa Sustainable Development Goals o tinatawag nating SDGs na naglalayong mas malawak at mas inklusibong pag-unlad sa hinaharap. At ang susunod naman nating tatalakayin ay ang Sustainable Development Goals o tinatawag na SDGs. So ano nga ba ang kahulugan ng Sustainable Development Goals at ano nga ba ang kanilang mga layunin para sa ating mga kababaihan dito sa Pilipinas? Ang Sustainable Development Goals ay isang hanay ng 17 layunin na itinatag ng United Nations noong 2015 bilang kapalit ng Millennium Development Goals o MDGs. Layunin ng Sustainable Development Goals na wakasan ang kahirapan at protektahan ang planeta at tiyakin na ang lahat ng tao ay nagtatamasa ng kapayapaan at kasaganaan pagsapit ng 2030. Sa kabuuan, ang Sustainable Development Goals ay isang ambisyoso, ngunit mahalagang hakbang patungo sa isang mas sustainable at makatarungang mundo. Bagamat may mga hamon at mga isyo na kinakailangang tugunan, ang kolektibong pagkilos at pandaigdigang kooperasyon ay susi upang matamo ang mga layunin ng Sustainable Development Goals o tinatawag nating SDGs. At ang ikatlo kong tatalakayin ay patungkol sa Achieve Gender Equality and Empower All Women and Girls. Ang layunin ng Achieve Gender Equality and Empower All Women and Girls ay isa sa mga pinakapayak at mahalagang aspeto ng Sustainable Development Goals o tinatawag nating SDGs. Ito ay naglalayong wakasan ang lahat ng anyo ng diskriminasyon laban sa kababaihan at mga batang babae sa buong mundo. Ang layuning makamit ng gender equality at pag-empower sa kababaihan at mga batang babae ay isang kritikal na aspeto ng pandaigdigang kaunlaran. Bagamat may mga hamon ang mga benepisyong dulot ng pagkakapantay-pantay ng kasarian, ay malawak at pangmatagalan ang kolektibong pagsisikap mula sa mga pamahalaan, pribadong sektor, organisasyon ng lipunan at mga individual ay kinakailangan upang makamit ang layunin ito at lumikha ng mas makatarungan at inklusibong lipunan.
The laws and policies for women in the Philippines. Women's participation in the public arena is being pursued. Make sure they are well represented in the political and economic domains. The inclusion of women technological is also added as a development target because technology can use to empower women and create more equitable society. Women's rights are mandated in the Philippine Constitution. the RA or Republic Act 7192 or the Women in the Development Nation Building Act, which the 792, also known as the Women in Development and Nation Building Act, is all about promoting gender equality and ensuring women's full participation in the Philippine society. Here's a breakdown of the key points, which number 1 is recognition of women's role. They acknowledge the vital contribution of women to national development. Second, equality before the law. It guarantees women fundamental equality with men in terms of rights and opportunities. Third, eliminating gender bias. Government agencies are tasked with reviewing and revising policies to remove any discriminatory practices against women. Fourth, empowering women. The Act promotes women's access to loans and credit facilities, government programs and resources, business opportunities, travel documents like passports, visas without needing spousal consent. In essence, RA 792 works towards creating a level playing field for women, enabling them to participate actively in economic and social development alongside men. Let's proceed to the ACT test of the National Commission and the Role of Filipino Women, or NCRFW, now the Philippine Commission of Women, or PCW. The NCRFW is the primary policy-making coordinating body on women and gender equality concerns. The PCW is an advisory body to the President and Cabinet members on issues concerning gender and development. Executive Order Number 348 created the Philippine Development Plan for Women, PDW, for the period in 1989 to 1992. Now let's proceed to the Philippine government produced 2 recent publications on gender mainstreaming. The first one is Harmonized Gender and Development Guidelines, published in 2010 by the National Economic and Development Authority, or NADA, or PCW, and the Official Development Assistance Gender Development Network. The Harmonized Gender and Development Guidelines, or SIHGDG, is a document in the Philippines that outlines how to incorporate gender and development, or GAD, perspective into the various projects and programs. Its goal is to promote gender equality and empowerment. Second, Women's Empowerment, Development, and Gender Equality, or EDGE. The acronym of EDGE is the context does not refer to a development plan like Harmonized Gender and Development Guidelines in the first is HDGE, but EDGE stands for Economic Dividends for Gender Equality. It's a certification program that assists a company commitment to gender equality in the workplace. Alright? Next is focuses on the 5 key areas: equal opportunity and career advancement for men and women, fair pay, and benefits. Let's proceed to leadership development programs for women, a gender-balanced work environment, involvement in community initiatives that promote gender equality. What are the benefits of EDGE certification? What do you think? First one, attracts, retains talented women, improves employee engagement and morale, enhances brand reputation, creates more diverse and inclusive workplace. The Plan 2013 and 2016, published by the PCW, this includes strengthening the following laws: the Anti-Rape Act, or the Senate Bill 1252, the Anti-Sexual Harassment Bill, and the Senate Bill number 1250, the Gender-Based Electronic Violence, Senate Bill number 1251. And now let's proceed to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, or CRC. The Convention of the Rights of the Child, or CRC, which was indeed adopted in 1989 by the United Nations General Assembly in November 20 of that year. The CRC is an international treaty sets out children's rights. The CRC protects children to things like education, healthcare, and protection from violence and discrimination. It also recognizes children as individuals with their own thoughts and feelings. The adoption of CRC was a major milestone for children's rights. It helped to raise awareness of the importance of protecting children and to set standards for how government should treat children. Here are some of the key provisions of CRC: the rights to life, survival, and development in Article 6. The right to a name and nationality, Article 7. The right to freedom of expression, Article 13. The right freedom of assembly and peaceful association in Article 15. The right to education, Article 28. The right to health is Article 24. And remember that CRC is a living document that continues to be relevant today. It is a powerful tool that can be used to hold governments accountable for their obligations to children. That is very important. And that's all for today, all about our discussions or report about the Chapter 9. I hope that you have learned something to our report. Thank you so much